Christine from Yogaberry. I'm a Yoga for Scoliosis teacher, and today I'm going to talk about what to look out for in your scoliosis. So you might have recently been diagnosed with scoliosis, or maybe you want to find out if your child has scoliosis, or maybe you're looking to work specifically more with your scoliosis curve, and especially if you're using yoga or Pilates and active exercise to improve your scoliosis, then it's really important that you know what your curve pattern is and what you need to look out for. But just want to give you a few points that you can check yourself. The easiest way obviously is to get an x-ray, but very often the x-ray doesn't tell the whole story. So just a few things. I want you to just stand relaxed and then just walk on the spot without thinking about it too much, just as you normally would, and then stop. And then look down at your feet. So I want you to check if there's one foot that turns out and one which doesn't. So for me, for example, I have a left lumbar scoliosis. My right foot will naturally turn out. So this is something to make a note of. So I would get a checklist. We're going to check the whole body from the feet up towards the head. So check your feet. Is one turned out? Which foot is it? Write it down. Also, something else to look out for is the arches of the feet. So the arches here, if they're collapsing or if they're nicely lifted. So it's another thing just to observe and then write it down. Next one we're going to check is the hips. So I want you to find your hip bones. So the bones, it's not here the sides, but they're here at the front somewhere. I'm trying to find mine. Wearing lots of clothes today. So bony bits here at the front. And then it's always good to do this in a mirror. In fact, you have to do this in a mirror. Check if one side is up, if one side is higher than the other. So for me, you might be able to see I'm quite aware of how I'm standing, so I'm usually trying to correct it myself. But if I stand naturally, my right hip would come up slightly. So just write this down without trying to analyze your curve just yet. So just write down if one side of the hips is up. And then look at your waist. So look at your waist, see if there's a difference in the sides. So you might be able to see a little bit of a difference for me. So one side of the waist is a little bit straight and in the other one there's a little dip. So again, I have a left lumbar scoliosis to give you some reference. So my left side is straight and my right side there's a slight dip here on the side. Then we go higher up, then we go to the shoulder. So this one there's many ways of looking at this. You could check your arms if one arm hangs lower than the other, just if you stand naturally. Is one shoulder up than the other? So again, my right shoulder is probably slightly higher. I also have a right thoracic curve, just to again give you something to compare to. So right shoulder might come up higher for me, so I would write this down. And then also check if there's the shoulder rolls forward. One side of the shoulder rolls forward. So sometimes if you have a rib hump, and you will know if you have got one, then it might be that the shoulder is rolling forward slightly. So the whole of the rib cage is rotated back, which is why it's sticking out at the back. But the actual front bit here might roll forwards. So again, just taking a note of that. Then look at your neck. So again, it's better to have the hair in a ponytail. Look at the neck. Is it even on both sides? Is the head slightly shifted to one side or the other? So I know that my neck slightly shifts over to the left. So again, I have to consciously bring it over to the right sometimes. And that's it for now. So these are a few things to check. To go into more detail, what we're going to do is the Adams forward bend. So you might have heard of this one before, and it's very easy. I'll show you from the side, and just get somebody else to do it with you, or get somebody, if you're working with yourself, get somebody to film you, and then you can look at it afterwards. So all you need to do is just slightly soften the knees and then rolling down. So this is not, if you're a yogi, you might be used to folding forward with a long spine, and this is what we normally do, but this one is just rounding. So we're rounding. If you have any disc issues, then don't do this because it might be painful, and I would do this then sitting in a chair. So rolling forwards all the way down and then slowly rolling up again. So get somebody to film you. And what we're looking out for in this is when you do this from the back. So I'm going to turn around, I'm going to do it this way. What we're looking out for is if there's a difference in levels when you're rolling forwards. So there might be a slight raise in my right shoulder, coming forward a little bit more. And then you can probably see that my left side of the lumbar spine is a little bit higher. Good, so I hope this made sense. What we're looking out for is if there's an unevenness. So in a straight spine, everything will be nice and level. In a spine with scoliosis, there will be one side which is slightly up. So check your upper spine, check your mid spine, check your lower spine, and it will tell you a story where your scoliosis curve is. So wherever it's up, that's the convex area. So that's where it's going out to. Okay, so I hope this helps. Any questions? I know this is all slightly confusing, and this is just the beginning. It's just to help you get started and know what you're working with. Any questions, feel free to let me know. I run a fabulous group on Facebook called Yoga for Scoliosis Community, which is completely free. You're very welcome to join us on there, ask any questions, and just virtually meet some other people who have scoliosis as well and who actively want to do something about it and feel much better in their bodies.